The movie Agbo Ma the Python was produced in 2021. As the movie opens, King Aweli is seen pacing restlessly in front of his wife, the queen's hut. Soon, an older woman comes out of the hut and announces the birth of his daughter. The king is disappointed to hear this. He laments bitterly about his need for a male child to succeed him. But he is encouraged by the village chief priest to accept his daughter warmly, as she was destined by the gods to save the kingdom. In the next scene, the village warrior, Omelez, visits the king to ask for his blessings to marry the princess Agbo Ma, who's now grown up. But when Agbo Ma hears of Omelez's request to marry her, she bluntly refuses and walks out. This infuriates Omelez. Afterwards, Agbo Ma walks through the village alone. She doesn't inform anyone of her whereabouts, and this leaves everyone worried, especially her parents. As she walks through a muddy path in the forest, a spirit in the form of a middle-aged man appears to her. He gives her a python to hold and initiates. Meanwhile, King Aweli continues lamenting over his daughter's refusal to get married and bear a male child to succeed him. Agbo Ma ventures deeper into the forest and stumbles upon Ugo Chukwu, the palm wine tapper, as he goes about his business. He courtesies and she immediately takes a liking to him. A conversation ensues between them and he offers her a cup of his palm wine, which she accepts delightedly. Omelez rages in another scene over Princess Agbo Ma's refusal to marry him. He swears to marry her irrespective. In the next scene, Agbo Ma's maid sees a python on her bed and immediately runs frightfully to inform King Aweli and his wife. She is escorted back to Agbo Ma's hut by the palace guards, but Agbo Ma steps out of her hut and no sign of the python is seen. The handmaid is punished for the false alarm. Agbo Ma doesn't stop this, for fear that they would find out she's the python. Instead, she stops the punishment after her parents leave. In the scenes that follow, maidens in the village are seen preparing eagerly for the Ofala festival. In Enioma, Agbo Ma's friend also prepares for it. Unfortunately, she gets into a fight with two maidens and they set her up for rape. But she is saved by a python, whom she had no idea was her friend Agbo Ma. Omelez is further infuriated when he discovers that Agbo Ma spends time with Ugo Chukwu. Meanwhile, Ugo Chukwu introduces the princess to his family, which displeases his mother. She advises him against associating with her, as she is royalty and they are mere commoners and also outcasts. During her discussion with the other python spirits, Agbo Ma is warned against falling in love or getting married to Ugo Chukwu, as it was taboo among their kind to get married. She assures the Python King that Ugo Chukwu was merely a friend and there was nothing to be worried about. Soon the king is informed about Agbo Ma's friendship with Ugo Chukwu. This upsets him greatly and he gives Agbo Ma an ultimatum to marry Omelez at the Ofala festival, or have Ugo Chukwu and his family banished from the kingdom entirely. The day of the Ofala festival arrives and Enioma is heartbroken, as her dance costume is stolen. Agbo Ma proceeds to retrieve the costume from the maidens that stole it spitefully. In her bid to instill fear in them and obedience, she turns into a python. They fearfully return the costume and she warns them to never speak of what they had seen. At the festival, Omelez proposes to Agbo Ma again, and once more, she turns down his proposal. She immediately sees Ugo Chukwu at a distance and runs to be with him. She requests that they go somewhere private, so he would sing her favorite song to her. After the Ofala festival, in the next scene, the queen visits Ugo Chukwu's home and tells his mother to instruct him to stay away from the princess. Afterwards, Ugo Chukwu is kidnapped by some men. His mother assumes they're the palace guards, over his refusal to stay away from the princess, and immediately rushes to the palace to plead on his behalf. But she is thrown into further despair when she discovers they are not from the palace. Agbo Ma decides to search for Ugo Chukwu on her own, and when she is unable to find him, she seeks the help of the Python King and even accepts to relinquish her powers if he brings Ugo Chukwu back to her. In the final scenes, Agbo Ma discovers that Omelez is behind Ugo Chukwu's kidnap and goes after him. She releases Ugo Chukwu first and helps him return home. Then she goes on to torture Omelez and forces him to confess his evil deeds to everyone in the kingdom, including her parents. She maintains her shape as a python while this happens. After Omelez's confession, she shifts back to normal and this surprises everyone. But the chief priest once more encourages her father on her importance to the kingdom and then urges him to bless her union with Ugo Chukwu. The movie closes with Agbo Ma and Ugo Chukwu lying in each other's arms, singing lovingly. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification button so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.